Steve, you are frozen. There we go. You're back.
This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Oh no. Oh no. Just as things were getting started. Steve goes bye-bye. All right. Well, everybody. This is not expected. Steve just dropped out. Welcome to the War Report. I'm Vince. Steve's coming back. It says there is no connect. Let me see. You there? Oh no. I hope that earthquake didn't fuck up. I mean, he's not near it, so it shouldn't, but yeah, welcome to the War Report. Literally, we were fine. Steve's connection was fine until a minute before. And now you look, oh man, you look super clear. I think everything's better now. Oh no.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now you're a little
fucking God damn it. I don't know what's going on.
Now
timing is everything.
Yeah, it's like
am I down again?
You were out, you were like muted, and now I can hear your voice again. This is crazy. I've never seen it like this. Oh. See, I can hear you like for a couple seconds, and then it goes completely silent again.
This is crazy. I don't understand what's going on.
Oh boy. Well, we shall. Well, the show's up. So can you like maybe try like using your phone or like. Or if you want to just like shut it down, like restart and just come back in, and I'll just wait for you to restart. Oh no, he's gone. Okay. All right. Well, this is fun. Just clean some chats up real quick. Dave Roska thinks Damian Priest is going to win the U.S. title. That's possible. We'll definitely get into that. Ask about Trish. I did mail it out. We shall see if she receives it or if she sends me a letter back or something. But yes, I did send it to her. And how we doing, Jassim? Yes, sir. Doing great. Yeah. Steve just got yeeted off of his own show. And literally everybody else was either like sick or indisposed. So it's solo Vinny show right now, which is fine. We can start getting into some stuff, I suppose. I will pull up the Raw results, and we'll start with there. Let's see here. Pull up the Bleacher Report Raw results. They seem to always be pretty good. Becky, yeah, Gunther, Pat McAfee. Okay, we got some stuff to talk about. Oh, and that main event, there was a title match in the main event. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about here. We had Jey Uso going against Seth Rollins in the main event, and I guess I'll save some time for when Steve comes back to talk about it. But it was interesting to me that they did this match right away. Ayo.
All right, let's try that again. Better?
Wow, that is the first full sentence I've heard from you in 10 minutes.
Fucking Christ. I don't understand what's going on. My apologies. I'm having some severe internet issues. After being gone for 2 weeks. It's great.
Man, it was, yeah, I don't know, but I mean, it sounds fine. It looks fine. It looks like we're back. I just started pulling up the Raw results and you came back. So perfect timing.
Well, good. So before we dive in, here, let's do it the right way.
Yeah.
Our good friend David Roscoe over at YouTube. Damian Priest will win the United States Champion for the second time. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus got the Nadia Comaneci picks.
I sent it. I assume she got it. I sent it, but I don't know how long it takes.
He's kind of saying it as she got it.
Oh.
But my question would be, how would he know?
Well, that's
yeah. We got Jassim back. How you doing on this Tuesday? We're good, man. Thank you for checking us out. Yeet to you.
He said yeet as soon as you left, too. It was so funny. Like, you went down, and I just see yeet pop up. I'm like, yep, Steve yeeted.
Oh, that's so funny. That's a no yeet. So far, we got Elias, who came back to NXT, and now I think they're going to move him back to Monday night. I really want Elias to come back to Monday Night Raw now that he returned. And the next
real?
Elias, like guitar playing Elias?
Did he come back tonight and I just was not been watching NXT?
I wasn't watching NXT. I guess it's possible.
Oh, 9 minutes ago, Elijah has returned to WWE.
Elias or Elijah?
Well, what are they going to call him? Elias/TNA's Elijah back on TNA Wrestling. This is from SK Wrestling on Instagram.
Oh, he's a part of TNA. Well, that makes sense.
He's participating in the number one contenders battle royal for the NXT Championship. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then.
That makes sense. Tara says hi.
Hey, Tara.
So we got a lot to go over. Before we dive into anything, we're going to kind of be all over the place. Great show, by the way, last week. I did listen to the whole show throughout the week. Very well done. You guys did great. Well, the last 2 weeks, the shows were great. Chairman, on the other hand, just for the record.
That's why I was trying to get him back on the show.
Just for the record, this whole I'd put up $10,000 bullshit that he doesn't have, I would do it for free. So let's just get that out and clear. There's a reason why the match that everyone's wanted to see has never happened, and it's not because of this guy. So he's good at cutting the promo. That's about what he's good for. Anyway, I do love the chairman though. He had me dying. I was fucking, and I gotta tell you too, I actually agreed with him more times than I didn't with the shit that he was saying on the last show.
Wow.
Which is rare, because usually we don't agree. I want to talk about Heyman. Because just when you think he can't get any better, I damn near thought he was going to have a heart attack in the ring last night.
That was amazing.
I mean, the passion of that promo, and not for nothing, another promo where pretty much everything he said was factual shit. Right? Like, where was Roman when he got put through the fucking table? And, like, it's not always Heyman being the bad guy, even though he kind of is, because of the way he goes about doing it. But he made some good points. So, that promo was fantastic. I love that it was with Jay. I have a thought.
What's that?
So, last week, you wound up having Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Right?
Yep.
The idea of using Sammy is because he's such a face. They're going to get the heel reaction that they wanted, but they didn't. Because wrestling fans are fucking crazy. And even when a beloved Sami Zayn is getting speared in half, the crowd's chanting, "We want more." One more time, right? So they didn't get the reaction they wanted, and I think that's why they wound up doing Jay versus Rollins for the title last night. Like, I think they sped that up because people aren't going to turn on Jey Uso.
Well, I was, you know what? Oh my God, we had the exact same thought. I'm like, they're doing this Rollins match on Monday to tease like they're going to do the quick title change after WrestleMania.
Which, by the way, there were a couple times I actually thought that the title was going to change.
Oh, yeah, but I definitely think it's because they're afraid that if they didn't get this kind of thing, like, for lack of a better term, out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, Seth Rollins, if he didn't challenge yesterday, was going to be a thorn in the side of Jay's entire run, where it's like, man, Seth's so over. Why isn't he getting a title shot? Well, he got his title shot and Punk interfered. And so now there's like a storyline explanation.
See, and this is something else. And I said this weeks ago.
Yes, you
Dave
did.
Abbey,
WrestleMania.
Yep, Dave Abbey over at YouTube agrees. They need to get rid of the Rollins music. The crowd is too dumb to stop singing. He's true. It's very true. And I said the same thing. And I think Chairman was the one that was like, no, they don't need to change. They do need to change it, because if you want him to get booed, these fuckers are going to continue to sing him out. He's not wrong. So yeah, we agree there. Jasim over at YouTube, yeah, he came back tonight. He came back in the Battle Royal. They did the Battle Royal and he returned.
Wow.
Do you think we'll see Ezekiel and Elias, two family members, back together again in WWE? That was a good time.
I loved that. That was funny.
I enjoyed it. I think Logan Paul is going to get the receipt in the mail, and receipt going to say yeet down. So here's the other thing too. So for those of you that don't know, after Raw went off the air, I guess exclusive to fucking X or whatever.
Right, yeah. They just
Logan Paul came out of the crowd and knocked him the fuck out. Like, not for nothing, I would have liked to see that on Raw. Like, why, as the credits are rolling, couldn't that happen and that's the last thing you see? Like, why does it have to be... I'm not going to Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to go.
He's there. People have to pay now for Netflix. They have to pay a monthly fee. It's not like it just comes on with their cable package. They have to go out of their way to pay extra money every month to get Raw. They're getting 4 matches on a 3-hour show, and the most important thing that happens, or one of the most important things, gets cut out and saved for social media. That shouldn't happen.
So I was pissed about that. The other thing too, I can't be the only one having this problem.
What's that?
So I don't watch on time, especially Raw. By the time I get home, it's already like an hour in, right? So the beauty of Netflix, I can start from the beginning. Great. But when I get all these ads and everything else, like, I feel like I'm missing shit. Because then, like, I'm checking TikTok and I'm seeing interviews with, like, Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, when the fuck did that happen? So I feel like there's a lot of stuff we're missing, and I don't understand why. Is it because I'm not starting on time? Or is it because that's just the way it is now because it's on Netflix? Like, I don't, it's just weird to me. The matches, when they go to commercial break, it goes right back to the match. Like, I'm not getting any commercials.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm missing shit. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. And every week I say the same thing. And at first I thought, you know, everyone's got to be having this issue. But Dave Abbey Heyman had the second best promo of the week. There was a 40-minute promo that blew it away.
There was a 40-minute promo?
That blew Heyman's away?
David, rather. You're going to have to fill me in here because...
Yeah, remind me.
I'm missing something.
Jasim, did you see the new GTA trailer? Amazing. It's it's a little disappointing we don't get to play with Franklin, Trevor, or Michael, but this is the first time we get to play as Lucille. Well, from what I understand, it's gonna be you're gonna get to switch off. It's not just Lucille. Oh, you're gonna play Lucille, and then the game is gonna be amazing. I'm just pissed it got pushed another year, but that game is going to make sure you have a lot of room on your hard drive. And make sure you have the money, because it's going to be about $150 that game, and it's going to be worth every fucking penny.
And there's the online stuff. From what I hear, the reason they're delaying it is they want to really make the online experience as good as possible day one. And you know how many times when a game goes live and you try and use the online features the first day or the first week, and it's not good. And there's like bugs and shit. So like from what I've been reading online, they
want to make sure there's no glitches.
Right, but I mean, I think
you're going to have an issue. The amount of people that are going to go jump on it the minute it drops, like Jasim, this is the first time you get to play as a woman, and then he says, "I'm going to be playing the game on day one," and quite honestly, so am I. So it's definitely it's going to have its issues. The cross. So So Dave and I still haven't watched it. I'm going to watch it tonight when we get off. Vince, I'll send it to you.
Oh, the Sam Roberts one with Karrion Kross, or is it a different one?
I don't know. He sent it to me. I have to look at it, but it's a 40-minute straight promo of Kross that's going to make you fall in love with him. And if it's anything like the little blurb after Mania, that was supposedly off script,
Right.
it definitely sounded like it was. This is the Killer Kross we've been waiting for. So, and the crowd's getting so behind him. So I really hope they actually do something with him now.
Me too, man. Me too.
I need more Scarlett in my life, and we're only going to get Scarlett when we get Kross. And I do like Kross. I've always been a fan of Kross. I hated the way they brought him from NXT to the main roster. Vince McMahon fucked the whole thing up. We don't have Vince now. Now it's Triple H, and he'll do it right. You know, and that's, listen, and then I know people are going to jump on me for that because Triple H has been at the helm for a while now, and they haven't done shit with him. But it looks like they're starting to do something. So we'll see. Dave Abbey says that's only a tiny part of it. So I'll send it to you, and we'll watch it tonight.
Sweet. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's the releases. So we should touch on the spring cleaning. There were a few surprises in there, Vince.
A couple, yeah.
I mean, Braun Strowman, I was surprised.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. I haven't really read anything as to like what was behind it. But I was surprised with that. I was surprised with Dakota Kai, and I was surprised with Cora Jade.
Yes.
Those are probably the three. Or Gigi Dolan, too, because she's gotten worlds better, and she's got a different look, and she's not bad.
And they moved her up to the main roster. They made an announcement that she was getting bumped up like a month ago.
And then did nothing.
Yeah. Like, this seems to be a pattern with that kind of stuff, too. They do that all the time.
Fuck Triple H. He cut my girl Dakota. Yeah, I don't... Listen, I know Dakota is somewhat labeled injury prone. I mean, she has been injured a lot. But since she's come back from the latest injury, she's looked great. And she's good in the ring. So I don't know why... I guess we'll find out eventually. Cora Jade is another one, though, that really took me by surprise.
Yeah.
You know.
She had a lot of hype coming in behind her. Didn't she, forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Cora Jade wrestling on like AEW Dark at one point?
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
She didn't last very long because WWE grabbed her pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah.
And she's been with them a long time. I'm surprised. Jassim, I don't know why they keep releasing talent from WWE, but now I know why, because I guess they're trying to push the old town away and bring new talent. Well, but when you're looking at like a Cora Jade, for example, she's not old. She's a young kid.
But like,
and,
yeah,
you
Dave's saying here, Strowman and Dakota might be aged out. But Cora Jade definitely isn't. Cora Jade's a young, and so is Gigi. I don't know much about the other NXT releases. But at least we get Cora on OnlyFans. Hell, you know.
She did make that announcement pretty damn quickly.
Peaks and valleys.
She will be on.
I mean,
she'll make more money on OnlyFans. That's for sure.
Mandy Rose is killing it right now.
Oh, she's making so much.
Oh,
money.
the other ones. Okay, yes, these two.
Oh, right, Kaden and Katana. I'm not surprised that those two got released, but I don't necessarily think it was a great idea. They were a great team. You know, size obviously was an issue for both of them. They're tiny, but they do some cool shit. But they never really they were over with the NXT crowd, and I feel like they never, like, their music hit and they came out with those fucking guns or whatever. You didn't get the pop that you heard in NXT on the main roster. Like, they just couldn't connect with the crowd. So that doesn't surprise me.
Right. So kind of down the chain of the things I've heard in the last couple days since the releases happened on Friday. Some of it is budgetary and like, yes, age related as well. So like Strowman is both up there in age. He's like 41 and he had a big money contract. Shayna Baszler, same kind of thing.
Baszler, that's another one.
She's old. They consider her older on a big money deal.
You know what bothers me?
What's that? You
get rid of Shayna Baszler, but you keep shit-stained Starks.
Do you know how many people online?
She's the only one that has survived in that group.
Yeah.
Sonya Deville's gone.
Oh, I know.
But we keep shit-stained Starks? Really? Is this like the fuck with me?
Dude, it
Like
must
this,
be.
I feel like they're just giving me the finger.
Dakota was a question mark for me, but I guess the scuttlebutt is that Damage Control as a group, well, officially now, is done. Everybody's going to kind of go their separate
Well,
ways.
you don't necessarily have to because you still do have Kairi Sane and Asuka. So,
Right, that's true.
and now it makes more sense because they're all Asian. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
all of Tony Khan superstars in WWE: Aleister Black, Miro, Ricky Stark, aka Saints. Yeah, well, but listen, you're going to see it the other way now, too, because Tony's going to grab Cora Jade, probably Gigi Dolan. I wouldn't be surprised if almost all the decent names that were in that league. I could see Braun Strowman showing up in AEW, quite honestly.
My conspiracy theory is that he's going to sign Bayley. Tony's going to, like, whatever.
You think Bayley's on her way out?
I don't know if she is, but I think Tony's going to try because Sasha's there. And she just got bumped from this WrestleMania match and all this other stuff.
I don't see Bayley leaving.
I don't either, but we never, there's a lot of people we never saw leaving. We didn't think Moxley or Sasha would leave.
Dave Abbey. Other than Liv, everyone that is tagged with Raquel has been cut. That's true.
Yeah.
Although you can say the same thing about Karrion Kross, too.
Well, yeah. Some of the NXT guys, I guess what's happening with NXT, because there's so many of them, is that every 6 months the NXT talent gets evaluated. And then if they don't believe that they are progressing in the right way or they're not going to be part of the future plans, they get cut. So it's like that's got to be stressful to know that you're getting an evaluation every 6 months, and it's not like a just a performance evaluation to give you like pointers. It's a performance evaluation to say like, hey, you're fired, or hey, we're keeping you for another 6 months. But that's the reality of working in like the minor leagues. It's the same thing for single A baseball or anything like that.
You know what though? It always sucks when people get released, right? Like, it sucks for them.
Right.
But the reality is, once you've become a household name in the WWE, whether you're NXT or main roster, now you go to the indies and you clean up. Yeah. You do the indie shows. If the promoter knows that people are gonna pay to see you, you're gonna get a nice payday. You're gonna get merch. You're gonna get travel. You do a bunch of the conventions and the autograph sessions and all that. You'll make a fortune. You keep making a name for yourself. Get the buzz behind you. WWE will be calling you again in 6 months and say, all right, we want to bring you back. And then it'll probably be a more lucrative deal anyway.
And it does happen a lot.
All the time. I mean, Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder's going to end up back in the WWE at some point.
I don't know how he hasn't already.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's been his choice.
It probably has.
I mean, he's made a name for himself on the indies. Dave Abbey, Julia should join Damage Control. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Jasim, that whole rumor between Tony Fumble, that's hilarious, but the roster needs to do better. WWE roster is better than AEW. I agree with that, too. Both companies are great. That one call me, though, was funny, Tony Fumble.
Oh, when people are chanting Tony Fumble. Listen, I think Miro... Listen, Rusev was wanted to sign with somebody, but then didn't want to do business. He didn't really like putting people over. That was kind of the scuttlebutt with Aleister Black. Ricky Starks is a whole other thing, but I think, unfortunately, he became politically linked to CM Punk, and that was like his friend. And when that whole Punk thing happened, there was kind of a direct correlation between that and guys like Danhausen and guys like Starks, who were associated with Punk kind of backstage, not getting as big of a spot as they once did. Truth be told, I don't think any of those three guys fit into the AEW roster anyway. Black was okay, but what happened was they would develop these spooky storylines and prophecies and all this shit, and then nothing would happen. And that's kind of the problem when you have these spooky, supernatural kind of groups, is there has to be some sort of resolution to it. And that's always kind of been the problem, no matter what supernatural group it is. Ricky Starks is fine. I like Ricky. He's a decent wrestler, good promo, all that stuff. But I think that, when you look at the people that they have right now in AEW, Swerve and Will Ospreay and Hangman Page and all the main eventers that they have, Ricky Starks doesn't stack up to those guys. It's just the fact of the matter. If you're looking at Ricky Starks as a future world champion or whatever, his path wasn't through AEW because there was a lot of guys on the middle upper trying to break through, and they all kind of broke. Osprey broke and Swerve broke all kind of around the same time. So Starks is good, but he and Tony kind of recognized the ceiling that he had in AEW. That's what I think.
I don't disagree. Jassim, if WWE tried to release me for my company when I get into WWE, when I get into the wrestling world, they better not think about releasing you because I love WWE and I don't know where to go after.
So Jassim, all right. So Jassim, I don't know. You weren't on last week, but if you were listening, he said in one of the comments late in the show that he wants to be the youngest WWE superstar, and he's a big fan. He wants to train and become a wrestler and become the youngest person signed to the
How
WWE.
old is Jassim?
I want to say he's 14.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I think he said he was 14 last week. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jassim. But yeah, we were trying to tell him last week, just like, hey man, if you're serious about it, you train, and like you were saying, you do dates, you do indie stuff, you do social media stuff. He's 20.
He's 21.
Oh, you're 21.
So you're at the age, dude. If you don't mind me asking, where are you from? Where you living? Because now's the time. I mean, you start getting into the school and start learning the basics, and and then nowadays you have an opportunity to make a name for yourself and let WWE notice you before you try and get into them.
And 21, even 21, like there are people that'll get signed to like those performance center deals or the whatever they are, but most of the people that break out aren't breaking out that young. So like you're in a prime spot. I mean, look at somebody like DDP, who really didn't become a main eventer until he was 40 years old. There's plenty of time, but like now, the best day to start.
You got to start lacing up the boots.
Right. As they say, the best day to start was yesterday, and the second best day to start is today. So fucking go for it.
Dave Abbey, there's a rumor that they're trying to bring Rousey back, and Baszler will probably come along in tow. I assume you mean to AEW?
No, I was listening to Wrestling Observer Radio earlier today, and they were saying that WWE might be making a play for Ronda, and to sweeten the deal, might sign Baszler back.
I thought Ronda had no desire to come back to the WWE. Although now that Vince is gone, maybe that'll change.
Right, maybe that's changed. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave's confirming WWE. Well, that'll be interesting. I mean, I'd be okay with it. Here's another thing, too. Are we on the cusp of getting our first ever female bloodline?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have enough of them where you can start a bloodline with the women.
But not the bloodline, like a big
Well,
faction.
you've got Nia.
Okay, yep.
You've got Naomi by marriage is bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors are circling that the Tonga twins, the females from WoW.
Oh, yes.
Who are related, they're part of the bloodline, are on their way. So you could potentially have a female bloodline. I'd be curious to see, like does Nia try to be the head of the table for the women, or it could be.
I'm thinking Tamina comes back, like bring them all back, like just load it up. Whoever was.
Tamina could come back as like an enforcer. She didn't have to wrestle.
Exactly.
Or she could be the wise woman.
But so. Or yesterday, last
Ava
night.
can manage them. True story. Dave
Ava's on the roster. That's right. Shit, she could be the tribal, whatever. Not the Wiseman advisor kind of.
I mean, listen, she gets whatever she wants. Daddy's head of the board. She just calls Daddy and says, "Hey, listen."
Right. So I was listening to some old Wrestling Observer stuff from a few months ago. Like I listened from the pay-per-view reviews of Survivor Series leading up and Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank, all that stuff leading up to WrestleMania. And during the Survivor Series talk, Dave Meltzer was saying that they're probably going to be running this bloodline story for another 5 years, which is funny because at the time they were talking about how like the Survivor Series match just happened and Solo got pinned, and then they had to, eventually they had to take the Ulafala off of him, which happened, and Roman got that back. But Dave was still saying like, that might happen and all this stuff does happen, but there's so much left. We've told the story that we need to tell now, but all of the pieces are still there, and the bloodline feud could always bubble up in different ways. You can get Roman back with the Usos. You could get any mix, and you could mix these guys. Jacob could jump over, whatever. There's a lot of play with those characters, and including women in it would be. It would almost be like the NWO when they would send like the NWO Japan. You have like the bloodline women.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's the bloodline thing is done for right now, obviously, but I think that there's a point where that all comes back.
Dave Abbey, it could be like a Bullet Club situation.
And there's plenty of Tongans in the Bullet Club too, or there were.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
So you're hearing rumors of a new Shield?
Whoa, I have not.
So there's rumors of a new Shield with Roman Reigns and the tall one who hasn't debuted yet. The young bloodline. What's his fucking name? Julio. It starts with an H, I think.
Oh, Hikuleo?
Hikuleo, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing rumors of that kind of situation.
Huh. Him and who else?
Those are the only two names I've heard so far.
All right. I mean,
we know it ain't Moxley, so.
No, yeah. It's not Rollins.
Jassim, when I found out my high school had a wrestling team, Greco-Roman, I wanted to do it, but I got it too late. At that point, I was devastated and started to collect replica belts. I collect them too, my friend. They're awesome.
Yeah.
And they try to and push me to become a superstar. I keep them in my room every day to look at them and remind me you can be a superstar. Just work hard. That's what it's all about, man.
Hey,
Just
man.
put the work in. Listen, if you give us an idea, you don't have to say it on here, but if you want to message any of us privately and let us know where you are, we can probably find you a school that's reputable, that probably isn't very expensive, that can get you the training you need to start getting your feet wet and see what it's all about. Vincent and I have both been through somewhat of the training and bumped around in the ring, and it's there's much more outlets out there for you than there were for us when we were your age. So take advantage of it while you can.
Yeah.
Dave Abbey, could you imagine the pop if the Shield music hit at SummerSlam? I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But we all did hate Roman in the Shield, so I hope he's still the tribal chief, even though, you know what I mean?
He was, well, not at the beginning, because they all came in and all three of them were like fresh. It got real stale once they decided that Roman was like the leader or the whatever of the group, and it's like, that was not the purpose. The whole purpose of the group was there were three guys that were like equals. And
then it got even worse when they split them. But then Roman was still wearing the Shield gear. They're coming out to the Shield music.
Yeah.
Like Roman didn't take off until Paul Heyman made him the tribal chief.
Oh, I know.
Did that whole bloodline deal.
I think it's just wild to think about, because we were in 2015. It's 2025 now. In 2015,
he would never be the guy.
That was the talk. He was the main event. He was in the main event. He was being pushed, force fed by Vince and all this other stuff. He was getting put over talent that he shouldn't have been put over. Yeah.
Jassim, can you trust Seth Rollins though in the year, because he stabbed Roman right in the back?
No, I don't think Rollins would be involved in the new show. I think it would have to be like Roman coming back with two guys to like go against Rollins and Braun Breaker.
And whoever their next person's going to be, because it sounds like they're going to add people to that group also.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel like that's, and even I listen at this point, because Becky's out there by herself. Throw her in the group too. It would just sure.
I think you should make her a Paul Heyman girl. Why not?
She's already.
Everyone knows they're married and have kids. Put her in there. She's a heel.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It all works right now. There's never been a time where like Rollins and Becky lined up as heels. There was a time where they lined up as baby faces, because I remember, I think Becky ended up catching an F5 from Brock Lesnar because of Rollins or something. But they've never been heels at the same time and worked together like that. It would be interesting.
It would be interesting. we should talk a little Backlash, since it is Saturday already.
Oh my God, Backlash is this Saturday?
It's this Saturday.
Holy
Yep.
shit.
So, of course, the main event, which, by the way, another outstanding promo between Orton and Cena. I'm excited to see these two go again. I've been trying to figure out how I think the finish is going to be. Because as much as I would love to see Orton obviously go over,
Oh, that's not happening.
it's not happening. Plus, they're in St. Louis. They never win in their hometown. So, but I also feel it's got to be Fugazi. So, somebody's either going to come in and cost Orton the match and start his next feud, or Cena's going to flat out just get DQ'd and do some heelish shit to be able to keep the title. What are your thoughts?
He did say he was going to ruin pro wrestling, whatever that means.
Right.
I think the funniest thing would be is if Vince Russo came out and interfered, but I don't want to put that into the universe.
I kept getting Dave Abbey, I kept getting the feeling that Sammy was going to turn last night and join Rollins. You know, I got that feeling more when he came out to celebrate with Jay. There was a moment where Jay, at the end of the promo, went to the top to start yeeting, and Sammy positioned himself right behind him. And for a split second, I thought, oh shit, they're going to turn Sammy, and then they didn't. So, but I didn't pick up on that so much the last round, but if you did, that means we're starting to see it. So that might be inevitable. Like, that's coming. Jasim, I don't know what fan quote is Monday, but Finn was talking to Roxanne Perez, possibly planting seeds between a new partner in the Judgment Day, replacing Liv Morgan. I did see that too. And that would be very interesting because Liv is going to be gone for, we don't know, they haven't really said how long she's filming this movie.
Right.
She's also a tag team champion, not that it means anything, but I assume she can't be gone too long. Dave Abbey, Travis Scott for the win. I mean, that's the last person I hope we see.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think, obviously it's too soon in Cena's run for him to drop the title with the story that they're telling. So he has to leave the building with the title, but that doesn't mean he necessarily needs to pin Randy Orton to do it. Countouts, DQs. He could cheat. He could have interference. It's very, I think your perception of it is right on, where there's going to be some sort of interference or something. I don't know. I don't want Travis Scott would be the last guy I'd want. I think at this point, honestly, as kind of a make good for WrestleMania, The Rock should do it. Just because it should have been him at WrestleMania, at least being there or doing. There was no mention. There was nothing about The Rock at all at WrestleMania, which, considering he was such a big contributor to the start of the storyline, doesn't make any sense.
I wasn't on for the past couple weeks, and obviously, The Rock responded to Dave LaGreca from Busted Open.
Yeah.
Who, let me tell you,
had an aneurysm.
I am a very big fan of Dave LaGreca. I'm a fan of Busted Open. I'll put them over every fucking day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I love his rants. The rant that he went on after Mania was absolutely phenomenal. It was the promo of a lifetime. To the point where The Rock actually responded, and The Rock didn't respond to anyone else. Like, he responded to Dave LaGreca 2 years in a row, mind you, because he responded to the Cody Crybaby shit the year before.
Oh, yeah.
And then, now this, right? But Rock's response was pretty shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know you guys covered it, but
it wasn't good. It didn't do anybody any favors.
It's not even that. It's anyone who watches pro wrestling, unless they're the age of 5, knows it's all a work. We know it's a work. We don't need to be told it's a work. But your job is to get us emotionally invested, and when you do the job right and you get us emotionally invested, nobody gives a fuck that it's all a work. People
Right.
look forward to it. People still get invested. People get emotional with it. And that's the beauty of pro wrestling. But for you to stand there and say it's all a work, like Dave LaGreca doesn't fucking know that,
Yeah.
I don't know. That was pretty shitty, and he's gotten a lot of heat from a lot of the boys and a lot of the gals in the wrestling world for his comments. So it'll be very interesting when he does come back to see how harsh the reaction is from the crowd.
Especially because he started talking again and became present again after WrestleMania. He was doing interviews like a day or two after about choosing to step away and this, that, and the other thing, and then chiming in on Instagram and Twitter and all this shit. And it's like too little, too late. Like he's trying to retroactively like do some sort of PR move, like to get to like spin this some way. And it's like there's no spin. You came in, you started off this big storyline with what seemed like a heel corporate faction with celebrities. You had Travis Scott in there. You have John Cena and The Rock together. These are big movie stars and big wrestling stars. Like it seemed like it was going to be a big thing, and then it wasn't. And then it became about the fans and all this other stuff that it started to stray away from The Rock, and they didn't mention him at all. But Travis Scott still comes out. So there's still a connection to The Rock at WrestleMania.
Right.
So it's just something's missing here.
Jassim, I think Travis needs to go back to rapping and stay out of WWE, because if it wasn't for him, John Cena would not be champion. John Cena still cheated. I don't like it. I don't respect. Well, Jassim, that's where we're different, because I am loving absolutely everything about this John Cena heel run. And that is because I have been waiting for 25 years for it to fucking happen, and I'm getting it. So allow me to enjoy the ride that John Cena is taking us on. Jassim also says, when do you think we'll see Cody Rhodes again? That's a very good question. I don't think we're going to see him for a little bit. You know what? Listen, the guy earned time off. He let him spend some time with his daughter and his wife. Hopefully we don't hear about a return and he just shows up and surprises us, because those are some of the best moments. David Rosca, Damian Priest will win again for the United States champion. We're getting to it, my friend.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just see him. Another rumor I've been going around is people's been saying wrestling is not fake.
Yeah.
Well, we all know it. It's predetermined. But the wrestling part is real, and you got to know what you're doing, or you're going to kill each other.
Right? Yeah. There's the fake thing is in very oversimplified way of looking at it.
Hilarious. Remember, because it's true, is not fake. People actually get hurt and sometimes lose their life and have to go get neck surgery, like Kevin Owens. Well, that's a true story. I mean, there's a reason why the WWE for 30 years has told you not to try this at home. But as soon as they tell you not to try it at home, everyone's trying it at home, because that's what you do. When you're told not to do something, and you do it anyway. Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. I got to tell you, this heel turn with Becky on Lyra, best thing that ever happened to Lyra, because we're actually getting some personality out of her. The promo that she cut was fantastic. Jim agrees. Not fake. It is scripted. Yes, sir.
Exactly. He gets it.
Amen. He gets it. But I've seen more personality in her promos in the last two that she's cut than her entire WWE career. It's giving you the idea that she can actually win. But in my opinion, make no mistake, Becky Lynch is leaving as champion.
Oh, I believe that as well, and I think it doesn't make sense for her to come back with such fanfare and then lose. The idea should be that eventually she loses, and I think Lyra, if that's the person that they're setting up for this, gets some sort of redemption and beats Becky by the end of the feud. Great, but Becky needs to win this one for sure.
David Rosca, how about Vince McMahon? I don't know exactly what you're referring to.
I mean, listen, you can't ask me how about Vince McMahon and expect it to be brief or,
Yeah, that opens up a lot of different doors.
It's a complicated guy, yeah.
Fatal 4-Way. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest for the U.S. Championship. I'll tell you this, if Jacob Fatu loses, I'm turning it off.
It doesn't make any. I was just going to say, unless the only reason he should lose is if he's going to be winning a world title, but the world titles are both kind of wrapped up right now. So
Yeah, and they're not going to move him to the world title yet. So I don't see him losing. Dave Abbey makes a great point. Bayley could be the reason Becky doesn't win the title. And that's very true, too. We haven't seen Bayley. Wouldn't be a shock for her to, distract her and cost her the match, and then Becky goes off and has the feud with her, or they make it a triple threat for the title down the road. So I go with Dave on that. I think Bayley's going to interfere. Just see him. There was unseen fan footage, and I get alerts on my phone every time when it goes off, is when WWE goes off the air. There's a guy under the ring making all the sound effects for the bumps.
I know the ring is mic'd. I know for a fact the ring is mic'd and they got speakers under there, but I don't think there's a guy under there manually made. What happens is they have the construction of the ring. There's metal posts in the metal frame, and then they lay wood beams under it, and then there's a layer of padding, and then there's a layer of canvas that gets tied over the top of it, and that's your whole ring setup. The boards underneath, when a bump happens, the wooden boards underneath hit the metal frame to cause a sound, and not that it doesn't hurt, but because there's padding, it hurts less than the sound would imply. But the way that the ring is constructed, it's designed to make noise like that. When it's in a big arena for like a WWE event, especially because they need to get the sound on TV, they have microphones under the ring, and they also will have speakers under the ring pointing out so that the sound comes outward, and you hear like when somebody, and that's why if you go live, it's a little weird because somebody will take a big bump and you'll hear the sound of it afterward because it's just like it's like boom 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 boom, like it's very weird. But yeah, that's how.
David Rosca, Damian Priest will win again the United States champion. David, my friend, you are wrong. There is no way they are taking that title off Jacob Fatu. I am sorry. It is too soon. It is not happening. Jassim, that's how you know WWE is scripted. Well, of course it's scripted. Tara agrees with something I said. Jassim, I still watch it. I still watch it because I still like it. I still love it, and even though it's fake, I still have a good time watching. That's what it's all about, man. As long as you're enjoying it.
Do you not like Star Wars? Because like Wookiees are fake. Like all this shit's fake. Like everything you see on TV is fake, man. The news is fake. Like I hate to get deep on you, but like everything you watch on TV
fake news.
It's
fake news.
But you know what I mean? Like it's, everything you see on TV is scripted or has a narrative of some kind. So like, find what you like and watch it. I don't.
Hey, like, in case you didn't know, the real like reality shows that are based on reality, they're fake.
Those are faker than pro wrestling.
It's true. David Rosca meant Vince McMahon thing is quiet. It's actually not. They're starting to talk about it again that he's dragging his feet. So that's going to be going to be back in the news soon.
So what happened was recently a doctor one of Vince McMahon's doctors, I don't know what, like it was a general practitioner or something, has filed a defamation lawsuit against Janelle Grant, who is the one that's filing the lawsuit against Vince McMahon, basically saying that Janelle Grant's attorney during some press conference or interview said something about the doctor that was defamatory, and the doctor is suing. So from what I understand is, if you're able to prove that in the defense of, or in the, if you're trying to prove one thing and then you're breaking the law by doing it. So like she's trying to prove Vince McMahon did something because the attorney said something during the course of the trial or the course of the investigation that it was defamatory against the doctor. If the doctor proves that it was defamatory and he wins against her, then there's a chance that the case against Vince McMahon can be thrown out. So there's speculation that Vince asked his doctor to file the lawsuit so that he could try and get the case thrown out. And it's like, so yeah, dragging his feet is a good way of putting it. He's definitely trying to throw as many roadblocks in the way as possible. It could also force arbitration where if they don't believe because of the supposed defamation that they could win in a trial, they could go to what her employment contract says, and you go to an arbitration with a third party, not to a court, but to a third party arbitration service. It's a whole other stupid thing.
Dave Abbey, you don't see any chance that Solo cost Jacob the title setting up the match for SummerSlam. Well, now that you fucking said it, I do.
Yeah, but I don't like it.
I feel like they could set up the SummerSlam match without him losing the belt, but I wouldn't be shocked if that happened, if he inadvertently did something that cost Jacob the match. I mean, you also have to remember, too, Jacob does not have to be pinned in a Fatal 4-Way to lose. So I guess in that respect, yeah, it's a possibility. But then you also have Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. And as much as I would love Penta to win, I don't see Dominic losing. But then you could also say, well, Finn may inadvertently cost Dominic the match too. So there's a lot of what ifs in this Saturday's pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it though. I don't think I think Damian or Drew winning the U.S. title would. What's it going to do for either of them right now? Because they honestly, if the main event programs weren't so bottled up right now, should be in world championship programs.
Dominic should have a decent run, I think.
Oh, I think Dominic's going to win for sure. I think, shenanigans will happen, but I think Dominic ultimately wins that match.
I would be okay with Penta, but Penta also just got here. So I
Right.
think Dominic deserves a decent run. Let Penta win it at a SummerSlam or like one of the big four.
Exactly. Yeah. So
And-
Dom, I think, wins. I think Jacob's got to win. Like, I just don't think you give the guy the belt at WrestleMania and then you take it off at Backlash.
Yeah, I want to see Jacob win. I really do. I'm so fucking over on Jacob. And then last but not least, Gunther Pat McAfee.
I mean, I think it's...
Hold on, before we get into it,
Yeah.
Dave Abbey, Jacob doesn't need the title. He's so over already. I mean, he's not wrong,
True.
but he also just got it.
And then where does the title go from there? Like,
Right.
and
Well,
you have Damian and
Solo
Drew.
would make the most sense to then set up this match for SummerSlam.
Right, but I'm saying if Jacob loses and LA Knight, Damian Priest, or Drew McIntyre wins it, where does that U.S. title go? Like, what's interesting about any of those guys having the title right now as opposed to Jacob?
That's very true. Gunther Pat McAfee. Let me tell you something.
Pat McAfee wins 15 seconds.
Pat McAfee cut a awesome fucking promo last night. I think he out-promoed Gunther by a long shot.
I mean, it is his first language, so...
But Gunther
yeah.
has to go over, right?
Oh, Gunther's got to go.
He's got to go over.
Yeah.
I think McAfee's going to look good. I think he's going to put on a show. But I don't see him winning.
No, I think McAfee has to go out there almost like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and just get the absolute shit kicked out of him for like 15 minutes. And then, that will send the message that Gunther, didn't lose a step by losing at WrestleMania.
Just see him. I can never get her last name right. But do you think we see NXT Women's Champion Stephanie Valcour back on Monday night? Can we start it 3 times in a row? She might be on the main roster very soon. I listen, she can't be on the main roster until she drops the NXT Women's title, but I see that happening sooner than later. The match that she put on with Io was fantastic on the main roster. I mean, she's great. She is fantastic. So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Booker T's going to go crazy if she's on Monday night. The problem is we won't get to listen to Booker T because he commentates on NXT, and he's hilarious when she does that move. Knight needs the title, or he's irrelevant. You know what? Unfortunately, they've dropped the ball with LA Knight to the point where I don't see him going any further than where he's at right now anyway.
And this is from the guy that...
And he's still over.
Right.
I mean, the crowd still pops for him, but
we were this is the group of people that were like, hey, if you're gonna have him go against whatever world champion, like we were talking about like him. Why do you have him going? He should be winning a title like a year or two ago. We were talking about him being like a potential world title contender. We were like big defenders of LA Knight or like hopeful for him, and now, yeah, train's left the station.
yeah, I think it's too little, too late. Tyra disagrees with us and thinks that McAfee has to go over to avenge Cole. Either way, he's avenging Cole. But
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna win
McAfee,
can't.
he can't win.
because then that's 2 pay-per-view losses in a row for Gunther, and one of them is against Jey Uso, who's not exactly Ric Flair, and one of them is Pat McAfee, who's a commentator. He can't.
And
And listen, we all I'm a big Pat. As much as I understand, he rubs people the wrong way, and sometimes he's a little over the top.
I love him. I love everything about him.
Yeah.
He is him and Cole together are great. I love everything about it. Just see him. Did we see the OTC as champion again? with everything that's been going on lately between Paul OTC at WrestleMania that transpired. I mean, listen, I do think that Roman will be champion again, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon.
It'll be a while, I think, because honestly, he's another guy when you talk about like Jacob Fatu.
Now it'll be about the chase for Roman.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't have to be about the. There's so much involved with Roman now, and so many people involved. You could have him chase for a world title, or you could have somebody within his family say, "I'm challenging you for the Ula Fala," and then you have more tribal, lead up to a tribal combat match. Roman is so not above, but but he's one of those guys. He's like a Cena, where Cena doesn't have to have a world title in the main event. But if you have him, John Cena, he's probably going to main event. If you have Roman Reigns on your show, he's in one of the main events of the show, even if he's not contending for a title.
Yeah, no, that's true. Dave Abbey, Cole saves the match with a steel chair.
Cole coming out in that orange singlet from WrestleMania.
I could see Cole getting in the ring, smacking Gunther in the back with the chair, and Gunther just turning around and laughing at him.
And being like, what? What did you think that was going to do?
Just see him. I feel like Seth Rollins is a villain now, changes free song. Yeah, well, that's what we were saying earlier. His song needs to change. Well, on that note,
jeez,
we have already reached the top of the hour, my friend.
Holy shit. Yeah, man. A lot to cover, so we get there quickly, and there'll be more to cover next week because we're gonna have the fallout from Backlash and the Raw after Backlash and all that good stuff, and of course the Friday Night SmackDown that happened. Real quick, the scuttlebutt on the internet is that 3-hour SmackDowns are stopping on June 6th.
Thank God.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. Like, I don't
even
mind
Raw has only been about 2.5 hours now on
which
Netflix.
Is fine because honestly, for a 3-hour show, even with commercials, it's about 2.5 hours. If there's whatever, but I know there's still like ads and stuff on Netflix, but 2.5 is not bad. What I would rather have, if it's gonna be a long show, either have more matches or longer matches, which is kind of the problem with the WWE still. Like Raw and SmackDown will have 4 or 5 matches, but they won't be that long, and it's a lot of promo stuff. So like compare minutes of wrestling in the show versus promos, comparing it to like AEW Dynamite or something. It's just like there's way more wrestling on the other programs. That's my one. And then the pay-per-views have plenty of wrestling. I have no problem with the way that they structure the pay-per-views because there's plenty of wrestling. But like the weekly stuff, there's just not enough.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, and Dave's saying watch the Cross promo.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Yeah. Jassim doesn't mind SmackDown being 3 hours. It's too long for a show. Can't wait until they switch back. Yeah, it's
too much.
It's too much. They're doing too much. All right, so yeah, guys, we're at the top of the hour. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do this every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're not on Eastern time, just whatever time 9 p.m. Eastern is in your area. We broadcast on both Facebook and YouTube live streaming. On Steve's personal Facebook, the Tag Me a Date Facebook, and the Tag Me a Date YouTube page. The best way to find us on Facebook or YouTube is to type in the word Tag Me a Date or the words Tag Me a Date in your search bar. On Facebook, the Tag Me a Date page will come up. You hit that big thumbs up button, and then you're following the page, and it'll be right in your news feed when we go live. If you go to YouTube, same thing. Type Tag Me a Date in your search bar. The page will come up. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell next to it. The bell notifies you when we go live. So that's the best way. It'll actually send a notification bloop, on your phone, a push notification when we go live. So those are the best ways to do it. You can also look up the archive over there as well. If you missed a show and you want to go back and see what we were talking about around WrestleMania or whatever pay-per-view or whatever show you might have missed, just go back on the YouTube page and it will most likely be there. All you got to do as well is, oh, dude, are you playing the, yeah, perfect. What a song. Man, maybe I got to go back and watch some old ECW. But if you want to follow us on social media, it's at Tag Me a Date with no spaces. Tag Me a Date is all the words. You just scoosh them together with no spaces. And we're on Twitter/X. We're on Instagram. Most places we're at Tag Me a Date. It's the same thing with the Facebook and YouTube. The different one is TikTok. It's TikTok. The War Report podcast? No.
War Report podcast.
War Report TikTok. War Report podcast. On the TikTok and the Instagram, we post reels or shorts from the week's previous episode, and then it will lead you up to the big Tuesday night deal where we're live streaming. So follow us on all those social medias. On your way out, if you could hit a like button or a share button or anything like that, that would really help us in the algorithm and all that good stuff. And if you like the audio version instead of a video version, just go to your favorite podcast apps, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. Type in the War Report, type in Tag Me a Date. You're going to see the icon that's either right behind me or up in the top right-hand corner of your screen over there that has the War Report logo. It has my name and Steve's name in the description. You know it's us. You hit that subscribe button, and the audio version gets dropped within an hour of us going off the air on the live stream Tuesday night. So thank you, Ryan, for doing that. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's Dave Roska, Dave, Abby, Justine, Tara. Who else was in here? My dad, Jim, was in here. And I think that was it for our commenters tonight. So thanks, everybody. We had a ton of comments, though. Thank you for keeping the conversation rolling. It's always great when we have questions and comments come in so we can put them up on the screen and address them. It definitely keeps the conversation going here. And we always like seeing where you guys are. And one last one. Nature Boy 420. Cross promo was dope. Oh, we both keep playing at the same time. Nature Boy 420, you were here last week. Thanks for coming back. Good to see you. Cross promo was dope. We're going to watch the longer one that Dave Abbey sent as well. So Steve's going to link that to me. And I guess if anybody wants it, we can put it up on the Facebook page or something. But, hey, that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be back 9 p.m. Eastern time next Tuesday for another edition of the War Report After Dark. So we'll see you then. Have a great